Okay, 60 minutes is up, and we are going to do the mash out. I'm going to take 2 gallons of boiling water, stick it in here. That should raise the temperature up to around 168 to 170, which will stop the enzyme conversion, and I'll let it sit for 10 minutes. Quick stir, just to make sure it gets nice and move throughout the mash tun. I want to stop all of that conversion, because basically at this point we've converted everything that we need to convert. Top down, 10 minutes. Alright, so here we go. 10 minutes is up. It's time to start collecting the first runnings. We're going to do what's called a Vorloff first. A lot of you know what that is. Basically, we're just going to turn on the valve about halfway or so, allow it to run out a little, and we're going to let it run until the first runnings run clear. I'm going to collect all of the first, my Vorloff will be in this 1 gallon container, and then after it starts to run clear, I'll put the hose into the 6 gallon bucket, because it's calibrated, and that allows me to know how much I've collected and how much I need to sparge with, how much water I need to sparge with. So here we go. And we're Vorloffing. A gallon is probably enough. I'll probably fill up this one about once. If it needs more than that, I'll keep doing it until it runs clear, period. But as soon as this thing runs clear, we'll drop it in the bucket and be on our way. Okay, so there we go. I got it to run clear by Vorloffing, and we're collecting our first runnings. Again, I put the ½ ounce of Magnum hops that I was going to use as our, bittering hops in the boil. I actually put them in here, and I'm basically trying to utilize them a little bit earlier than 60 minutes. They'll be able to sit in the wort and kind of infuse with the wort a little bit longer. So a little more bitterness, but that'll be fine. Okay, we're done with the first runnings. And it looks like we collected just under 5 gallons, like 4 3/4 gallons. So we're going to need I want about 7 gallons to boil, 7 to 7.5. So I'm going to add between 2 and 2.5 gallons. That should give me right around 7 to 7.5 gallons total pre-boil volume. So I'm going to transfer these runnings into that boil kettle so that I can use this same bucket for the second runnings for the sparge. Alright. So we're done with the sparge. Got just about 3 gallons, right at 3 gallons. So now we're ready to boil, or really close to it anyway. I'm going to add this back to the boil pot, take a gravity. Okay, little tip here. When you combine your first runnings and your second runnings, and you're going to get a pre-boil gravity, you need to make sure you stir your wort very, very well. Because what happens is the first runnings, which are thicker and heavier, have more sugar in them, they go to the bottom and they stay there. They don't want to combine very well. So what you want to do is make sure you get a good stir so that all of them get good mixed up. Now, I know a lot of people are going to go, well, you're creating hot side aeration and stuff like that by turning the wort like that. And yes, that's possible that I am doing that. That's the least of my worries. I want to make sure I have a good, accurate pre-boil gravity number. Because without that, if I'm not right here, I'm not going to be right when I start to boil. So I make sure that that I get a good, accurate number right now, and then I don't have to worry about it later. Alright guys, here we go. Here's my setup. It's a turkey fryer, aluminum pot, 10.5 gallons. I've got right just under 8 gallons in it, like 7 3/4 gallons, I think is what I've actually got. So we're going to try to boil down to approximately 6 gallons. Okay, so we're approaching 200 degrees. In fact, we're at just over 200 degrees. So now's the only time you really got to pay attention to the boil. As you see all this material here, this is all hot break. And this right here can get out of control very, very quick. I try to keep, I don't let the hot break get a solid layer. I try to always have a little gap there so that it, you know, some air and whatever can get through. I don't know if that helps, but it seems to help me. And then I also keep handy. A nice little spray bottle full of water. And as the hot break kind of comes up, I'll give it a couple of shots, and that will let it subside and make it easier to deal with. All right, guys. I forgot to turn the recorder on. Forgot to turn the recorder on for the 10-minute hop editions, but I just put them in a few minutes ago. I think there's 8 minutes left. Yeah, 8 minutes left. So they're in there, ready to go. I also added a Whirlflock tablet at 15 minutes remaining, and I dropped in the wort chiller, which you see there. It's in there just to sterilize. So anyway, I'll come back when we go flame out. Alright guys, we got 1 minute left in the boil, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and drop our flame out hops in so that they'll have a chance to actually isomerize and, you know, get good and moist and become a part of the wort. And then we'll flame out here in just about 50 seconds. Stir them around. Get them good and stirred up. Okay, it's time for flame out. Kill the flame, and I'm going to turn on the wort chiller. What I like to do here is just move it around, get it kind of well pooling a little bit like this. That aids in the cooling down process. Now, drop the top on it. I drop the thermometer right through here, and that'll give me an idea about how fast the temperature is coming down. I also like to collect some of that hot water just to save it. It doesn't seem right to just waste it by letting it run out. So I collect it in my mash tun. I use it to clean some other things up along the process. Right now, the key right now is to get below 140 degrees as quickly as possible. 140 degrees is over 140 degrees is the point when DMS precursors can kind of take effect and set in, and we don't want DMS, so we're trying to get it down below 140 as fast as possible. That's the main thing. Then after that, we're trying to get it down to around pitching temperature. Get all that good hoppy wort out of there. Oh, that's good stuff right there. Well, in fact, I'm just going to let that sit there for just a second. And then, like I said, I'm going to take the whole fermenter, which is now pretty much full, and move it into the sink so it can get even cooler.